and welcome to another episode of the Third Wheel Podcast. Calling it a game
Go
of
for
two
it.
halves. So this is a game of two halves podcast.
Yes.
Uh,
Welcome back,
how are you
guys.
doing, buddy?
Good, Valley, good. And even better after last week. How did you like our new signing, man? How did you like our new signing?
Your new old signing. It's like going back to your ex, man. First you dump your ex and then you go back to her. So yeah, whatever, man. I think he was the signing of the Premier League, if you ask me. If like every year there is one marquee signing, like somebody who enters into the Premier League, and though Lukaku has been in the Premier League for a long time, with Chelsea, with United, I think him
Everton.
coming back again, it was a massive signing. And
Yeah.
just on the game, my take on it before I give it back to you is that I think Chelsea were by far the more dominant professional team, the team that is looking to get the title, the Champions League. They weren't like, okay, it's day one, we're going to see how it goes. It was like from the whistle. Maybe Arsenal had 10 minutes, 15 minutes in the game, but other than that, it was Chelsea all the way. And the way Lukaku just bossed that area, the way it's like he picked up Murray and just flung him in one corner.
And yeah, especially for that goal, you saw the way he pushed. He just pushed him, dude. Like it's like he didn't exist.
Yeah. And it's not like a push where you push a man. It's like you push like a kid, like an annoying kid. Just, hey, move, man.
Exactly. Yeah, like you said, Lukaku was the key factor in that game. He just bullied around Arsenal, and everyone saw it. It was
Yeah.
there for everyone to see. Good result, but the big test is next week. That is tomorrow when we play Liverpool. We'll talk about it later. The only upset I think would be, I wouldn't say upset also, but Manchester United got a reality check. They were flying against Leeds, but Southampton grounded them. So that was a
Yeah.
good game, man. I was watching that game, and that goal also was like the build up to that goal Southampton scored was quite good. There was
Yeah.
a debate if it was a foul or no, but I think it was a good tackle.
I feel Manu were a little bit lucky to come away with a point from that game, to be honest.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that was not the best strike from Greenwood. So yeah,
Yeah.
they got away with that.
Yeah. And moving quickly to the other game, Man City, Grealish getting his first goal
First goal.
uh, for the club. So I think that was also very interesting because it's a, like this is the thing. Like I can give you an Arsenal reference. So when we signed Nicolo Pepe, he was signed for some 72 million,
Yeah,
and it's like it's like buying an Apple product. You pay a lot of money, so you expect everything from it to deliver. But then the pressure is then moved from you to that player. So even it's not his fault that somebody paid 72 or 100 million for Grealish. The pressure then comes on the player that I need to perform, I need to show my worth. So it's always good for players like Lukaku, Grealish to get their goals out of the
let's
way, at
start.
least the
Yeah,
first goal. Yeah,
correct,
so I'm
correct.
happy for him because that's a big money for a player like him. But I think it's a smart investment for the future.
Yeah, he's a young kid, man, and obviously playing under Pep, one of the most successful managers in the world. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be good to see how they move on from there now. So we had the Champions League draw yesterday. I know it doesn't concern you, but have you got a chance to go through the groups?
Oh man.
Sorry, I had
You
to say
know,
it.
the thing is, after 25 years, right, Arsenal decided to take a break. It's been a long marriage, man.
Like
That's why we're just
you
the last point play.
you take a break when you have been successful, when you have tasted that success, and when you have achieved those things that you were meant to, and then you're like, okay, now let me take a break. But what is this, dude? I mean, eight, not
So,
even Europa. That was still bad, man, Ali.
oh man, you know what? I'm after seeing the group stage, knowing Arsenal's luck, we would be in Group B, and in Group B you've got Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, AC Milan. I mean, Porto is there, but
Porto also,
that's like the group of death, man. Like every season there's one.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah. If you look at the groups, I think that at least for me, that looks like the group of death. I don't know
Yeah.
about AC Milan. I haven't been following them. They were in the last pot actually. They were in pot 4, so I don't really know what's going on with them. But the other three teams, I mean, very much capable of knocking each other out.
So just to go through, like, what would be who do you think would kind of qualify from each group? We got in Group A,
Yeah.
Man City, PSG, RB Leipzig, and Club Brugge.
Yeah, but who do you think will finish on top? This is the discussion we were having on another WhatsApp group yesterday. Like, we know which two will qualify, but who will finish on top?
I think PSG, with the depth of squad that they've got, and knowing that City don't have a striker, I feel at some point it's going to play into their game.
But City beat PSG last year without a striker.
Yeah, that's true. But with Messi, come on, man.
Yeah, I'll also go with PSG just because they have Messi.
Group B.
Man, this is a tough one. I think Liverpool will finish first and Atletico second. I don't know how good Porto and Milan are, but I think it would be Liverpool and Atletico.
I feel Atletico because I think they are going to go for Champions League this year. They've won the league. Just makes sense for them to kind of go for the Champions League this year.
And Group C, I think this is also pretty straightforward. Dortmund and Ajax, I think 1 and 2 for me.
But it's actually not as straightforward because any of these four teams are capable of pulling up an upset. Because it's Dortmund, it's Sporting, it's Ajax and Besiktas. Maybe Besiktas, I don't know. But the remaining three are not that bad, actually.
Yeah, but then we are predicting, right? So, I mean, I have a feeling that Dortmund and Ajax would be 1-2. You think it'll be more closer than that?
I feel it'll be close. I think Sporting have a good chance, man. Moving on, D.
Again, I think 1 and 2 will be a tough fight over here. I think Inter will be 1 and Real will be 2.
Cool. B, Barca, first time without Messi. Bayern Munich, Benfica, and Dynamo Kiev. Here, I think it's between Barca, Bayern again. I feel Bayern may trump them in the group stage at least.
I have a feeling Bayern are the stronger team here, man. I think Barcelona without Messi, without Aguero also is out for a few weeks, I guess, or a few months. But yeah, I also think that Bayern will just edge over Barcelona here.
For Group F, Villarreal, Man U, Atlanta, and Young Boys.
I have a feeling this is going to be the group where things are going to get crazy. I really have a feeling these are the kind of teams that Manchester United are likely to lose to. Villarreal beat them obviously last year in the Europa finals. I think this is where things can get a little crazy. I feel United will qualify, but I am not sure if they'll be 1 or 2.
Yeah, and then going to Group G, I really don't know a lot about any of these teams. I don't really follow
Lille are the League One champions, so I think they'll.
Yeah.
Lille and
Sevilla. I haven't followed a lot of French football besides PSG, and I think this year, with Messi being there, there'll be a lot more people watching games.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
I think it'll be Lille and Sevilla. I think it'll be 1-2.
And then in the last group, that's Group H. I think most likely will be a fight between Zenit and Malmo for the top 2 positions.
I think we should comfortably qualify here. Chelsea 1, Juventus 2 for me.
That's a good segue. Talking about Juventus, there's a lot of speculation about Ronaldo and what's going to happen with him. Just as we are recording this podcast, there's a news out that Man City have said that they will not go for Ronaldo, and the doors are open for Manchester United to sign him.
Oh, is it? It's just come in because the last I saw on Instagram was Ronaldo boarding a plane, but nobody knew where it was going.
Yeah, apparently it's going to Manchester, but just not the city part of it.
Oh, Manchester. Oh, you're right. I'm just reading on Sky. Manchester United in talks with Ronaldo. City pull out. Wow, man, this is going to be. Some comeback, yeah.
crazy. I think people at United, if I was a United fan, I think I'll go mad because it's like a homecoming, like the prodigal son coming home.
Right.
I can't compare it to a Lukaku because obviously of the amount of success Ronaldo's had
Yeah.
since being discovered to now.
Yeah.
And I know he's at the end of his career and all of it, but Ronaldo coming home is like a kind of a dream scenario for Manchester United. And if he does, there's nothing competing with the English Premier League football, man.
Nothing. And just I was reading this. Just imagine this, man. What a transfer window we are witnessing, man. Messi off from Barcelona, which we never ever thought would happen. Okay, and now Ronaldo, all of a sudden, in last 1 week or 1.5, he says he wants. And he's actually out of Juventus. Allegri, just before we got on the call, I got a notification that Allegri has confirmed Ronaldo is leaving, and here now you tell me they are United are in for him. Like, man, this is mad. Yeah. No, I mean it's going to be massive, man. If Ronaldo, but then again, I don't know how much impact he is an impact player, but given his age and he's probably just getting towards the end of his career. I don't know if he still has those 25-30 goals in him, but it's just the presence of him on the pitch, man.
But think of it this way: you have Ronaldo on your team sheet.
Exactly.
Automatically, your strategy, your tactics have to change because you have to account for Ronaldo. And he's someone who, like, Messi is God gifted and has some natural talent, but Ronaldo is someone who is not going to let go. Like, he will be after you continuously.
Correct.
My only issue is if he does go to Manchester United, is Ole the right person to manage him? I don't think so. Who have been managing him in his whole career?
Dude, that way you can say Pochettino also never thought he's going to manage Messi, but that is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very different. PSG, when Pochettino signed up to the project, he knows it's a big ticket, big money project. There's no doubt of it. I think right now, besides Chelsea and maybe Man City, PSG in terms of money are one of the biggest clubs in terms of what money is being pumped in.
Of course.
So with that money, there's a lot of pressure. So whether it's Messi or no, he knows it's going to be big. One, maybe Messi is not his signing. For sure, it's not his signing. It's definitely the owner's. But the rest of the team that he has is still his. But that's also interesting because there's also rumors of Mbappe wanting to go to Madrid, and there's a bid been put according to Madrid somewhere around 200 mil, which is crazy.
170 pounds, I think 200 euros. Yeah,
you're right, man. This transfer window is crazy. It's one of the biggest ones, man. So yeah, interesting window. And then we were talking about earlier about game week 3 coming up. What are your thoughts?
Man, I'm looking forward to the game. I think that's going to be like our acid test, to know if we are actually going to be like contending for the title. If we have to win the Premier League, we should be able to beat Liverpool. That's what I feel. And with the squad we have, and now with Lukaku coming in, everything is just falling in place. Maybe our defense is a little weak now, but I think with Conde coming in, that also is going to make a little difference. So, but ifs and buts we can talk about later. With the team we have, I still feel we should be able to beat them. It won't be a very high scoring game, I feel, but 1-0 or 2-1 to Chelsea is my prediction.
Just on that game, I think Liverpool, I don't know, they had that 1 year which was magical for them. I don't see them pulling up trees kind of a thing. I don't see them as title challengers. I could be wrong. The one advantage that they have is they have a solid team that's really not changed in the last 3-4 years. So I would say it's in favor of Chelsea. I do feel it'll be a 2-1 at least a 2-1 from in favor of Chelsea. Yeah, that's my prediction for the match. And then we've got probably the marquee game or the main game of
the I want to hear your predictions first before I Keep mine,
I
yeah.
think it's going to be 4-4-0. 4-0. I predict.
Yeah. Arsenal are
Oh,
getting
you
spanked, bro.
Hey, dude. Well, listen. On the weekend, we beat West Brom, who are currently the lead. They're leading the table, West Brom, and we beat them 6-0
West Brom is leading the table where?
in the championship.
Oh, shit, yeah. I know. I saw that Aubameyang scored the hat trick, I think, and
Yeah.
Lacazette got a goal, and I think who else? Odegaard got a few assists. I think he didn't get a goal. I saw the scores.
Yeah. So Oba got a hat trick.
Yeah.
Saka scored one. Pepe scored one, and
Ah,
Lacazette scored one.
Lacazette scored. Yeah.
So it was a good confidence booster. Obviously, you're playing under 23s, under 18s, so it's not as competitive as the Premier League. But it was a good win because Arsenal hadn't scored a goal for 3 continuous games, two in the Premier League, one in preseason. So Brentford, Chelsea, and I think Tottenham or Chelsea in the preseason.
Preseason.
So it was good for them to just, sometimes when you score in a competitive match, no matter how important it is, you get a confidence. So I think it will help. And we have Gabriel, our defensive guy, coming back into training. So that'll be interesting if he's there. Ben White still out as of the last team news in terms of COVID.
Yeah, COVID.
But I don't think so. It's going to be as easy as the Chelsea game for Man City to kind of go through Arsenal. I feel they will have some fight. I think I'm still not 100% Arsenal are ready to win a match versus some of the big 6 teams.
Will they
It
score?
will take.
Winning is like there. Will they score again?
Yeah. I think we will get a goal, but I think it will be a close contest. Maybe a 2-1 in favor of Man City.
2-1, I don't think so. I feel the scoreline will be big. I think I'll go with 4-0, what you said earlier. Easily. I think if Arsenal concede, no, I'm not because I'm a Chelsea
I
fan, but
know.
it's just the contrast, man. I mean, Arsenal is like, I think the lowest point in their what do you say that history right now, and Manchester City are just flying. But the only maybe good thing for Arsenal could be that it's an early kickoff, and early kickoffs usually I have observed don't have a lot of goals. So let's see how it goes.
And just for people who are going to be watching this, a reminder: we're going to be here every week with this podcast. At the moment, we're calling it "Go to Edge." Doesn't mean go to hell. It means G2H. It means game of two halves. And we're going to talk about football as two fans of football. And if you are interested in football, you like to get into this discussion, you can do so by commenting or get in touch with us, and maybe you can come on the show. So
and we plan to invite a lot of people on the show. Going to be our common friends, obviously, and some of the people representing some official clubs from Goa, and contests, obviously, giveaways. So stay tuned, guys. It's just
true. And if you're in Goa and you want to be part of the show, you have something to talk about football, and doesn't have to be about the Premier League. It's maybe your local league. It's about you like Forza Goa. We are all about football, and we're just here to have fun and enjoy football, the sport that a lot of us love. So if you have anything to contribute to the show, get in touch with us. But make sure that you like and subscribe, and you share this video with everyone, all of your friends. Encourage us, help us, and maybe we can come up with some better content than two guys sitting in their hall and talking.
Before we wind up, do you want to do some FPL, Valley?
Oh my God, I don't need to open it, but I'm going to open my FPL, and maybe when we edit the video, I will edit my FPL score as well.
We'll try and include a little bit of FPL stuff also, just to keep it interesting, because I know now, like this year I'm participating in a lot of paid leagues, and a lot of people are participating, and I was surprised to see the number of teams, and
Yeah.
it's great because it's not only about making a team and selecting people. You have to follow football, and I think over the last year FPL has definitely helped me in gain a little more knowledge about football, and the amount of stuff I read about football today is much more than what I used to do a couple of years back. I am my total is 192. So I am in top 40,000 all over the world, and top 2,500 in India right now.
I'm 106 right now.
Yeah, 106. And you know what, Valley, you won't believe. Last week, I captained Bruno.
Yeah.
Okay. If I captained any other player, any other 10 players from my team, I would have crossed 100. But Bruno got only 1 point. He got a yellow card and no clean
Uh,
sheet and played 90 minutes. So 1 point, and captain means I got 2 points. Anybody else, I would have got at least 4 points.
all right.
But
And
yeah.
who do you think for this week is a watch out in terms of FPL, to gain those points? Now, someone like
Yes.
me who's sitting on 106, what would be your recommendation? Who do I look at?
I think if you are at 106, you have to do something different. So you have to look at Kane and Son. Kane scored 2 goals in their game yesterday night, or day
Mhm.
before yesterday. It was, yeah, he scored 2 goals, and
Yeah,
they are playing Wolves. Who are they playing tomorrow? Let me check. Yeah,
Watford out there.
they are playing Watford. I think there's going to be a lot of goals in that game. I unfortunately cannot bring in Kane or Son because I've already used my transfer, and I have a plan for after the international break. But
Okay.
if you want to really change things up, I think it's a good time for you to wildcard. You have Kane, you have Son for this week. Manchester City assets are good, but the only problem is you don't know who's going to start. Liverpool, Chelsea, I would suggest staying away from them. Manchester United can pop in a few goals, but Wolves have looked really good. I've been watching their games. They have just been unlucky against Leicester in the first game, and even the last game they were
Yeah.
unlucky to not win or to not draw against Spurs. But they are looking like a really good team. So yeah, if you want to change up a bit, look at Spurs assets. I think their games are going to be good. West Ham, Antonio and Benrahma are on fire, dude. That duo is like crazy. And I've had them from game week 1. That is why I've been, I think, scoring some good points. You can look at Everton assets. You can look at Calvert Lewin. Okay, so you will have to play a wild card, and I don't know
Yeah.
what your
I
team
have
is.
Calvert Lewin in my team, and I think he's got me some points. But Mikel Antonio, West Ham, I think he's somebody to watch out for.
Yes,
Like you
definitely.
said earlier, Jota, I think he's also someone who would be critical in those assists and
Yes.
coming defensively as well. So yeah, some good pointers there, man. But I'm saving my money for Ronaldo. So
I'm saving my wild card. Exactly. I'm saving my wild card for that. Things can change, man, in a week's time. And yeah, and man, the sad thing is next week is international break. So I hate international breaks,
too,
man.
too soon, man. It's
I
too soon. But
swear. But thank God it's only
but
1 week. Yeah. So
yeah, it's only a week, hopefully. But
yeah.
that's us. Thanks for the tips, Vijay. And those of you who have tips for others with regards to the FPL, tap them down. Maybe I can get my scores up and compete with Vijay for a change. Uh, and let us know your predictions for the week for your teams. We've given you ours. Arsenal playing Manchester City and Chelsea playing Liverpool.
Yeah.
But if you follow other teams, let us know and let us know your predictions for those games as well. This is us. Thank you for your time. As we said earlier, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and encourage us. We are trying to get some more content, and hopefully, from a Goan perspective, we'll try and get some more Goan football flavor into our show as we build it along. But thanks, Vijay,
Yeah.
for your time.
Thanks, Ali. Have a great weekend, man. We'll keep in touch tomorrow. And thank you guys for tuning in. Please send in your comments and likes and shares, and we'll be very happy to have you on our show someday. Cheers, guys. All the best.
See you, man.
Yeah, see you,
bye-bye.
man. Yeah, bye.
What? What?